Good evening and welcome back to Breaking Waves News. I am your host, Odin. Our first channel features Kate and Ian with Follow the Intrepid Bear. Ian joined the police at 21. For 8 years of his career, he was of the Dorset Marine Unit, where he was a coxswain. During that time, he became a qualified RYA Yachtsmasters Instructor Examiner for powerboats. When he returned to the field, he finished his last 13 years as a police sergeant. Ian bought a 40-foot motorboat and moved aboard in 2009 while living in Poole Harbor. Kate's contact with boats was brief. Her dad, a retired soldier, bought a 27-foot sailboat in 1990. He and his wife went off sailing. They sailed through the French canals and into the Mediterranean, where they spent several years before crossing the Atlantic and going to the Caribbean. They're back on land now. They have a home in Turkey. But Kate always remembered their travels and a quarterly email she would get from them. Kate and Ian met online in 2012. Kate was also a police officer in a different location. She lived in Somerset, some 100 miles away. So for the first 4 years of their relationship, it was arranging shift schedules and travel. They explored much of the UK's south coast on Ian's motorboat. During their explorations, they've crossed the English Channel, gone to France, and to the Channel Islands. They often daydreamed of sailing off into the sunset. They had 8 years till retirement, and over time they started making that dream a reality. After 4 years of dating long distance, Kate transferred from her police department to the Dorset Police Department. She moved on to Ian's motorboat, and they were able to spend more of their off time exploring. They fell in love with a small island, Laka Harbour Paxos. In 2017, they chartered a boat and got married. They sold their motorboat in 2018, and with some trial and error, they came across Intrepid Bear, which is now their current home. Ian retired from the police force in 2020. Kate took a 5-year career break in 2021. They left the UK and started documenting their journey on YouTube. Their last video had them in the Cascades of Portugal, and soon are heading to Gibraltar. They plan to return back to Paxos for their 5th-year wedding anniversary in June. Next up, Windward to Eden. The Delaat family started their sailing adventure 2 seasons ago. Although they wanted to live aboard right away and cruise, they were in the middle of family life making decisions, and that transition proved to be more difficult. However, they did move to Beaver Island, Michigan, where they were surrounded by water. So while getting their affairs in order, they would at least take the time to learn by experience to sail. Many would say that the Great Lakes are very challenging, much more than some coastal cruising. Nick is a Navy man, so you could say it's in his blood. After Nick and Candace got together, they opened their own newspaper. They're very resourceful, and as life and plans changed, they found their way to Beaver Island, Michigan, where they currently live. The Delaats bought a 1984 Catalina 25, which they have named Yamoya. They're not just learning the lines, they're learning engine maintenance as well, until it's time to graduate to their future floating home. With one of their children, Quentin, now a young man, off at college, the other two, Isabella and Parker, are now in middle school. Nick and Candace are considering waiting till the 2 children are out of high school, but they keep weighing the idea of doing it sooner, and they've been seeking advice from other full-time live-aboard parents on what to do. They're also trying to find out resources for their children or other children that live aboard. They have just ended their 2nd season on YouTube, and with snow still on the ground, it'll be about June before they start up season 3. They have plenty of adventures to watch, so if you are new to their channel, go check them out. The Delaats want to show others that have kids, responsibility, and don't come from money that you can do this too. Windward to Eden and Follow the Intrepid Bear both are just over 900 subscribers. I am sure we can find support out there to help them get to that sweet spot at 1K. So how about you go check them out? And then tell them you saw them on Breaking Waves News from the YouTube Sailing Channel's Facebook group, where we support the Sailing Channel content creator. Thank you and good night.